And I think we are live. So let's have a look at what I'm going to start trying to finish off today, because we got most of this done last Friday. And yeah, I'd like to try and finish it off. I had some wild ideas at the last, before I finished up the last day. I was trying to create like a swipey effect for this. So I started getting something in there. Oh, that kind of jumps back in the wrong way. But it does it right that way. So I can swipe right, left looks wrong. We'll figure that out. And we're going to replace this with that. I will also make sure that the active is... Oh, I'm back. I don't know what happened. My Wi-Fi decided to cut out completely, of course. But that's what happens when you're doing this live. So, happy Friday. I've actually got a really cool one today. I haven't tried this. So, look out. Let me just go full screen for a second to show you how cool this label is. I don't know if the camera can pick that up. Can it? There. Yeah, it's pretty. That's a badass label. So, let's see. Now, we can jump back over to the screen. Now, where were we at? I was discussing, this is what I'm trying to get this working. It's coming in the wrong way when I swipe away. We'll get that fixed in a minute. Let's start trying to replace this up now. Boom, boom. Yellow belly. So I think that's Wexford, isn't it? Yeah, Wexford, Ireland. Tasty, at least. All right. We are going to find out where I was, which is going to take a minute. So bear with me. If we can't see the screen, let me know. I will zoom in, zoom out, whatever we have to do. We will get there. Let's see. If the music's too loud or anything, let me know as well. Or if it's not loud enough. Boom. Okay, we got this. This is our big blue bar. Okay, so this is what we have to fix or add into our... We need to add this into our whole setup here. Yeah, it's lo-fi. All right, product. Okay, I didn't set a class actually the last day either. So I should dynamically create these. So, but I guess I won't. We'll see. Right, what do I have to do here to add this in the slideshow? I think I'll take the slideshow out. And we can have active panels. can I currently change the active panels? So let's say active panel equals active panel. And then up here, I'm going to take that in. I really do need to pull this out into its own component in a minute because it is it's going to get out of hand very fast. I might as well have the panels in there as well. I probably should take an array of panels. That would make it easier, wouldn't it? Anyone have any fun plans for the weekend? Push this back. Panel. And I had this for direction and active panel, wasn't it? Key equals panel. Set panel is new direction. So in reality, I want to change what panel is active with the active panel and not use this in here. That's going to get out of hand. Right, let's pull this all in and start putting it all together. Actually, do these buttons even show yet? Oh yeah. Okay, so active panel is not defined. Oh, because it's just panel. All right. Panels. And we're already getting all the panel data, so I could probably pull all that in. Yeah, I'm dynamically creating all the display to panels, so let's figure out how to wrap all of the slideshow in here, because there's not much going on in this component other than JSX. So we're only going to pull in the complexity that is here. So we're using framer motion, which is pretty cool. And what I'm using as the example here is this one. So I might open this again for reference. And we'll take a look. I forgot I have this streaming on LinkedIn as well, so I'm just going to open up the tabs there. Nice. Okay. Okay, so they have the wrong way when you turn anyway, so it just goes in one direction. So I'll have to change the direction based on the arrows. Okay. Yeah, I'll show you what background I'm using on that gradient now. I'll jump straight into that just so you can see it. My background linear gradient is using this. I use an 0.25 turn, so quarter turn, and I'm using pink and blue at the 30% mark. So my pink and blues are declared up here, wherever they are. So here's my two pinks and blues that I have everywhere. So if you see me post things, I'm usually using this pink and blue, and the purple is somewhere, that purple that meets in the middle. So let's try get this working in there now. It's going to be fun. So I'm going to start pulling out a lot of stuff. I'm going to break loads of things and then just see what happens. And I'm in the wrong. That's the services data. And test data.index. Cool. So the test data.index then is going to be effectively what I am using to change these things, I guess. Hey, Praveen, how's things? So let's throw that in here. Get rid of this. Take in. Oh, it doesn't like that. What did I do there wrong? Animate presence. Ah, it's the div. I forgot a div around that. Get rid of that. And we will change the test data index to the panel. Okay, let's see how badly I murder this now when I pull this in. It's amazing how much I forget in a week of what I've done and what I haven't done. I hope they're good medicines at least, Praveen. Are you doing okay now? Anything too serious? All right, let's see. What's this error? Panel. Okay, because I have panel declared twice. I will be getting rid of this panel. And I'll have to control the direction based on yes. So it's the index that I want in here, not the panel actually. So if I go down here, it's the index I'm using now to display which is the right panel. And I'm able to cycle through these now. Yeah, Praveen, you should check out yesterday's talk. Tej did a great job, in fairness, especially one of the locals for you. I guess it's a big place, but yeah, he did awesome. I was really excited to get him on because he's always teaching me loads. This looks fantastic, actually, now. Once I figure out how to get things going the other way. Let me have a look. Where are we at? So what I want to be able to do is if I... yeah, because this active panel is not going to work anymore. That's not a thing. What I have to do is a little bit of logic check, because if I want to either go up or down in direction, so either 1 or -1 depending on the direction, and change the active panel since it's a multi-dimensional now. Right now we'll just say whatever the panel is -1. So -1 for direction. So just so you know what I'm doing here, I'm going to delete the slideshow up here because this is all gone now. Anyway, we don't need any of this. Do we need paginate? Oh no, I think we have all this dragged in. I can undo, worst case. So what we have is this lovely, no, it's up here. This lovely panel and direction. So it's the direction we wanted to set when we change the button. So I'm going to make this. Oh, Kieran Curly, how is things? Yeah, Tej has plenty of energy, in fairness. He'd love to hear that. That's That's for sure. I think we're going to convince him to do his own YouTube as well. I hope so anyway. He's a fun guy and he's very knowledgeable, so it was great to get him on. Let's see what happens now when I do this. Okay, everything breaks because set active panel isn't a function anymore either. It is now set panel, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, lovely. So you're not working late then tonight to try and get everything working, Kieran? if that is the way it's going to be tonight. You probably aren't allowed out of work. At least you don't have to commute far. And where are we? Okay. All right. Oh, yes. That works as expected, I think. Nice. So, now when I click a button, it goes where I want it, or I can swipe to change them. Now I just need to map the active states to what is the active index, I guess. Yeah, what are you going to do then, Kieran? Is it looking like a big event, or how is it looking this year since it's online completely? Although I know you had a couple of warm-up events. Tajanch is one of my best mates from here. He's an ex-colleague of mine, and he did an AWS workshop here on the channel last night. If you just flick over to like yesterday's video, you'll see like a 2.5 hour workshop with myself and him. So definitely worth checking him out. I'm gonna send him a picture of the chat so he knows people are talking about him. That'll give him a little bit of excitement, just because. Yeah, he'll like this. I just want to send it. He was so excited. Oh, I seen the Grimes announcement as well. That'll go well. I'm going to. Okay, so we have that. This is working as expected. We need this to map the active states now. So what do we have? Styles on active. I'm going to be really manual for now. We'll dynamically create these after, I think, because this is probably overkill. If I had the settings, yeah, I'm going to just do it now because it's getting a bit outrageous. Let's get the button data. Okay, so now we're going to. We have some services data here, so I'm going to create something else then. Export panels. And I don't think I can do that. Hold on. Can I just export? Export const panels, and then I'll export const buttons. Not panel buttons, buttons. And then we can get stuff going. I seen, Praveen, you put up your portfolio into Discord as well. I'm going to try and get a few more people. I'm going to probably put it out in a few more days on Twitter and everything else to try and get some portfolios to review on this because it could be good fun. Oh yeah, remember Paris Hilton was on the Collision one with her pink poodle. That is, I'm sure that's stickers everywhere now. That's all over your Slack still, Kieran? So let's jump down. Product planning. I could probably just copy and paste that quicker. I guess not. I'll figure out why that didn't. Tweet and fleet. I got you. Tweet and fleet it. You're alright. I got a new phone. I don't have any of the evidence. I can't burn you, unfortunately. So... I'm sure she would actually think it was hilarious, really. She seems like a pretty chilled person. Okay, so that's going to break everything because data doesn't exist anymore. So we're going to bring in panels and, well, actually I should bring in data because that's what it's called everywhere else. So data and buttons. Bring in. Oof. Hey, Nico. Right, let's try to get these buttons wired up then. So in the button group, we're going to go buttons.map. We'll have each button. And the nice part then is we can just say button, and we'll put a key of button on it as well, just for the sake of handiness. I could fix this after if it's not working. And then for this, we're gonna actually also need the index. So I'm gonna take the index here and throw it into here. Then I should be able to just get rid of all this. Okay, so now it's all active, and we want styles.active if this is, yeah, I'm gonna call this I because we actually have an index outside that we're keeping track of. So we'll call this I, and we'll say if I is equal to index styles.active oh yes, I'm gonna do, because I was gonna do a deep dive on that new image component YouTube video as well, because it's a bit weird. There's a few gotchas with that component, and there's a few more features on that component than I even thought. It's not just as simple as I thought. There's actually a few properties you can do to make it stretch, to fill up areas, to do loads of different things. So I was going to do a video anyway on that. So yeah, it's a bizarre one, to be fair. Nice, look at that. I think that's working. I will have to check when I put real data in. But oh, and Kieran, I didn't see your message there. Yeah, Tesh is... What's Tesh up to? He got a lovely puppy called Larry. You should check out the end of the last video we did yesterday, because Larry came in for a little bit and was trying to bite his face. And yeah, he is having a good time. Version 1 these days, I think. So okay, we don't need this anymore. We don't need... The height is going to be whatever the height is of content, I guess. This is just randomly picking things, isn't it? Okay, so it's not going up to here. There's no way to get product scaling. Yes, a bug hits us. We can get product development, product launch, but we get an awful flashback to the default here if we hit that. I'm guessing it's how I set my index. So let's have a look. What is my index? Test data.length. Okay, yeah, so it's actually going to be data.length, isn't it? So this is the data I'm bringing in, which just has all my panels information. Before anyone wonders why I just randomly decided that's the length I'm going to have. And now, yes. I really like that kind of overlapping that now. So I might actually just put a shadow on this. It could look pretty cool if it slightly comes over that. I know in the designs it doesn't, it like hangs. But there's a lot of white space here in the design. So if I brought that down, it might look actually pretty cool. Let's just play with it. This is the nice part about having my own designs. I can do whatever I want, and it's probably only going to break. Nice. I really like that now. So what is the border or the shadow I have on usual things? Do I have a shadow set up for one? Let's check in main. Shadow. Box shadow. I do have shadow. Okay, so we'll say box shadow, shadow 3. Let's see what happens then. Service.module. What the hell happened there? Oh, that's a post. Okay, so the shadow's on that one. And then I want a shadow on the other one, which is the service. Okay, that didn't work as expected. Because the service is taking up the whole thing, is it? Let me inspect it. What's confusing you, Nico? Service details. Ah, okay. Nice. So I don't know why that's happening. So if I go this way, it still goes up. Let's figure that out. But what do people think? Does that look better if it overlaps slightly? So if I pull it all up a little bit? I guess we'll try it out. I'll need a margin bottom of the whole thing. So margin bottom. Okay, we can't do that anyway because that will break everything. But I can make the height more, can't I? Okay, that will work. So I can slowly bring that down. This is probably a bad way of doing this, but there's not going to be too much changed in here. So I'll put that down to 400. $450. I think that looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Am I crazy or does that look okay? Nico, they are teaching programming in schools now, so in a lot of countries. So I guess get ahead of them. You know, if you feel like you're going to want to do this in a while, it's not a skill. Even if you don't do it in the future, it's good to know how the world works, and everything works on the internet now. So you should definitely give it a shot. Okay. That looks pretty cool. I like that. Boom. Now, let's see if I can get the direction or remember the directions. I might ignore it for a few moments. Recommended reading recommendation. Let's boom. Let's go here. But yeah, I'd always say definitely learn as early as possible. It's like oh, I can't do that. So I'm gonna add another 40 pixels to the top here, just to give it a bit of breathing room here. But then it looks pretty cool. I'm enjoying that. Nice. Even if it's only going upwards, I'll figure that out after. How to get those curves at the bottom of the gradient. I'm cheating. Basically, all these are, if I inspect the elements here, is there is a background image here. So I'll show you literally in the... So those curves are all images, and I'll show you how I got them. So I got the... You'll see here now how I did them. I got this, and in here you can copy as SVG or copy as CSS even, and just throw it in as a background image, and then you get those really nice curves. So you just add a little bit of margin to make up for the space here that things might fall into, or minus margin if you want to pull them back into it a little bit. But there's no, all it is a bit of design work on Figma. Create a square, and you create a mask then, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So we have this, we're going off pace. And look, in fact, I'll have to do another one at the top here in a second. So we might as well start seeing how that works. So what's the next gradient I have to do on the surfaces? It's a slight off gray here. So I'm going to do this now, and you might be able to see it. I'm not very good with Figma, so bear with me as I butcher this. So what I usually do is I copy something like this, or the whole shape, and I go boom. And I know basically I want something to create this shape, but I don't want to use the gradient because it'll be too tough when it changes or depending on the sizes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut something that cuts out that shape out of the purple in this gray color. How will I do that? Let's have a look. Jump over to Figma. You can grab a square, and in fact I'm going to just measure it off these because these are the other ones I've been using. Perfect. And let's make this bigger. And so I want it send to back. So I wanted that shape. So how I do this then is I get this pen tool here. We'll bring it to there, maybe to here, and back to here. I'm gonna bring it to here. Okay, and then you see up here I have this, might be hard to see this. Oh, but there's like a curve tool. I'm gonna go full screen for a second so you can see this. So there's this curve tool up here, and if I grab any of these points with that tool, what I can start to do is create a shape. And in fact, I'm just seeing here now that this probably needs another point. As you can see, there's not really that much. I wish I could say it was way cooler than this. So we don't want any stroke on it, so we'll put 0. But I do want a fill on it of, what is the fill for the next section? That is, what is that color? Why won't it let me click it? It's slightly off-white, so I might even just pick this for now. Might be too gray, but it's, yeah, it's like a gray with an opacity. Or can I pick a color off the page? Fe. Okay, we'll take that. And then if I can figure out where I went. Now I have that slightly off-white. I can take this up to here. I'm going to shrink this up so it's better. And I think I can click this and say, use as mask. Oh, no, it's actually the opposite. I can say to this one, use as mask. Actually, I'm going to fix this because I don't like this. This is actually looks a bit weird now. It doesn't look as... Let's Control Z a little bit. I think I'll just do this again because I'm after screwing up that last one. But at least you'll get to see, really. I told you I wasn't going to Figma, so this is where I was going to suffer. Right. Escape. How do I go? Stop touching things. Okay. Say boom. 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 Boom and boom. I really should, Jay. I should definitely try turning it off and off again. At this stage, my computer, it's the only way it will look good. Great to have you here. I thought you'd be streaming now as well. You never seem to stop streaming lately. Let's take this. Okay, this doesn't actually look the way I want it, so let's... This isn't meant to be a point at all. Anyone know how to undo a point? How do I remove a point? I'll have to deal with it. Oh, that's terrible. I don't know how to undo a point. Be straight, please. Okay, that actually worked. I'm on Oh, you're working on client stuff. Hold on, actually I forgot I was here. Okay. No, that's too much of my face. There we go. Working on some client stuff. What clients would you here pair program with me? Oh, are you going to jump on? Do you want to? You can come on and show your clients work off. It can't be. Hopefully, I'm sure you'll do a great job if you want. But yeah, I was saying actually, I have the Irish energy drinks here, and by energy drinks I mean double IPAs. Why is this? Can I delete this one? Or have I made a layer? Oh, that sounds good. It's very unlike you to be. Are you taking much client work at the moment, Jay? I should probably asking you this separately, but I definitely want to nab you for a job soon. Mega Meanies, do you ever have Banshee Bones? You probably never had Banshee Bones. You think, you know, we have our Meanies crisps, because we have crisps called Meanies or chips. No, you call them crisps in the UK too, so it's okay. So we have Banshee Bones and Meanies are crisps here. Or chips for anyone that's watching from abroad. Mega Meanies. What are Mega Meanies? I kind of want to search. Oh yeah, they are. Definitely. Making sure. I just thought you had something different there. I wasn't expecting you actually had some real good, awful Irish food over there. Yeah, Meanies and Banshee Bones. Banshee Bones are only around at Halloween now. But yeah, that's that's brilliant. Oh, pure flavor. All right, now where am I on this? So I want to take this, put that there, pull this up, and I think I can use this as a mask. And now I have this. Yeah, when COVID ends, Jay, I'll either get to you or you'll get to me. It's bound to happen at some stage. It's well overdue with how much we've talked online as well. That we we definitely have to. Are you at your desk right now, Jay? Oh, don't worry. I would never cheap out on you, Jay. Don't worry. I have a big enough announcement coming in the next few weeks. And as a result, I'm going to need lots of really good hands. And I know you're pretty good with your hands and your keyboard, so I might have to nab you. I really don't like how this is looking, but we'll do it. Oh, you're on a stream with James. Deadly. He's doing great stuff recently. What a nice guy. What a gent. Actually, yeah, I just anytime I see him, he's just so fun to watch as well. I'll annoy him. He might let me on. I'll probably get him blocked or banned or something. Right, what way did I do the last ones actually? Am I doing this the right way, Jay? You might be the right person to ask this, because I was just winging it the last day. So how I am doing my what I'm doing to get these gradient effects, or I'll show you where I'm at. So I have these nice weird curves, but they're all just background images. Should I be doing smarter? Because like all I was going to do is use that background image to snip out this. And yeah, I'm not sure if that's the way I should do it, but that's the way I have been doing it. But while I have somebody like of your caliber here on the stream, I might as well ask if I should be just, as you can see what I'm doing with the here, I was going to grab this and overlap here so that it gives me the illusion that it's a fancy shape. And if it's a long answer, I'll just send you a link and you can jump on and talk to me. And where do we have background images here? Yeah, you see, this is all I'm doing. Background images. Boom. Perfect. I thought it felt a bit hacky, but it also looks great, so I didn't want to not do it either. I need to fix this animation, but we're getting there. You're teasing me now, Jay. Framer, yeah, I'm using Framer here. I'm not very good with Framer, as you can tell, but I'm just trying to get things to work, I guess. Actually, I don't know why this is. I think there's a. It works really nice, but if I go this way, I'm obviously not reversing the animation, and my brain doesn't have the mats for the animation, and I just like that little effect. So I'm not in the blog anymore, so, but I am going to take in the before because I am going to use this. Second. Okay. Yeah, Framer is crazy. For me, it's just a lot of magic, and I'm just trying to figure out, as I said, hacking things together. I had this crazy notion the last day of getting this stuff to work properly, and yeah, I could definitely use some help in seeing how we hack this together. So nice. Okay, so Jay's going to join me in about 5 minutes to help me solve my issues. So that'll be even more interesting than I expected. Beautiful. I love the internet. I messaged him off screen if anyone's wondering how I just had this vision that I was going to get help. So let's take this and put this on. Where am I putting this? Can't even remember what one I was in. Services. Test data is gone. I don't need that anymore. So I'll delete that. Go into here. And it's the container for and I will need that SVG, won't I? So I'm going to... Oh, this is in the way of my camera here. So I'm going to export as an SVG. And let's do that. Let's open up the other one to the side here as well, just so I can drag it over. So you can see what I'm throwing things. Where are my assets? Assets. Images. Vector 25. Top services, we'll call it. Or bottom cards, but we'll have a look. Let's throw that back out. Throw that back out. And I can go into my images, or I can go back into my services module and service. Nice. Okay, so services not there, and that's probably because my container doesn't have a position of relative. Oh no, maybe it's the top. Let's put top 0. Let's have a look. Why isn't that not coming in? Container before. Ah, Jay, welcome aboard. Why isn't that not
coming in? I need to unmute somewhere.
That's all right. I was wondering why I'm talking to myself. Usually that only happens in my head.
Oh, what's going on? There we go.
What's going on?
Long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, absolutely. It's great. Do you know what I have to say? How amazing is the internet that I can just be like, yeah, jump onto the stream and you can help me.
Yeah, you can't really complain about that. I just thought, yeah, just came off that stream and saw you. Can't remember where I saw it. I think I just saw it on Twitter or something. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come and say hello.
Nice. What were you doing on James's stream?
So I just did a walkthrough of one of the, well, not a walkthrough. So he had some. We were just sort of chatting about animation and stuff, and then we did so he's checked out the book, and he was on about doing like a button and bringing a button sort of to life with some transition stuff. So I kind of span it and was like, well, you like basketball, so let's make a basketball button. So I made like a button with a basketball on it, so when you tap it, the ball would spin and stuff. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I have to say, those little things. I'm wondering, do you have a shortcut? Do you know the little happy face you put in a lot of your animations? Do you have a shortcut now for just like a button on your stream that you just press and you have a happy face on the on the animation?
Like then. Oh, I'm on the wrong. I need the USB switch, which I can't press because otherwise the camera will go off. But on my Stream Deck, I just have like buttons for everything. For like, just...
Yeah, I was thinking there has to be, because there's that cute smiley face is on so many things.
Yeah, and that as well. Like I have like a function that I pretty much copy for every demo, which is called blink, and all it does is blink the eyes random intervals every like 5 to 10 seconds.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you know what I mean, like but it really adds details, because you could just be doing something like, say, that basketball, for instance, and you throw on blinking eyes and all of a sudden it's a character.
It's alive.
Yeah, you can't kill it. You know, like the trolls are about to attack you on Twitter about your basketball, but then they're like, no, wait, it might have feelings.
Yeah, it's Christmas.
Amazing. Yeah, I was going to ask you. So, two things. Here I am butchering this. I'm trying to figure out why this won't add in on my before element, but I'm guessing I'm just spelling something wrong. Have you been playing with much Next.js?
I have used it on the Next Egghead.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah,
Top
so the
service.
Next Egghead is open source, but I've been doing a little. Well, I've not done a lot on it. I put together a page for it the other day on podcasts and stuff. But yeah, the next version of Egghead IO is built on Next.js.
Yeah. Okay.
Now
Now I've seen I just exported it with a stroke, so that's probably not going to be good. I can hack that out.
I find it interesting as well. Do you write your pseudo elements with double colon? I don't see a lot of people do that.
Yeah, do you know what? I think it's when I started coding. When I started coding, I knew no developers, so I ended up doing a lot on W3 schools. And do you know the way they have on all their stuff? They actually do use the double colons and everything. And I just know that's a bad habit, or a habit. I wouldn't even call it a bad habit. It's just a habit I picked up.
It's just one of them.
Yeah, it's just one of those things I picked up from that and have never really let go.
I do things like that all the time, just different things. I just have habits.
Yeah. Exactly. It's funny, like, because I know that's how I picked it up as well. It's just as a result of whatever, that's where I learned this thing. So now that's how I do these things. And often, believe it or not, I'll put it in and I just won't save a file. I'll do a single colon, and it's happened so many times that I haven't saved a file, and I assume it's because I don't have two.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh no, I have to go back to that. So I've had so many times that's happened. I just assume it's the the two colons that's making it work for me. All right, this is probably going to have an invisible stroke in here now, isn't it?
Well, it depends if there's a. No, there shouldn't be. There's no stroke width.
That's what I thought.
There's no
I haven't been playing with SVGs enough in the last few months. That's why I thought this is a fun project to do as well, because of all the weird shapes.
It's always the best thing to do. I literally just plucked one of my favorite analogies out for the stream a minute ago, which was, I always tend to jump into projects or learn new things, but the way I go about it is I find the highest diving board that I can find where I can still get out of the pool, okay? So, so just
that makes sense, really.
Take the biggest leap and just hope for the best. Like, so because I'm rebuilding my site and it's slow progress because I'm not going to burn myself out to do it. But the idea is obviously that I'll have actual content. But I've been doing like Netlify CMS and Eleventy and stuff, and just doing it complete from scratch. And it's been like, it's completely different to doing Gatsby or whatever. But it's just like, yeah, whatever.
And what is that? I haven't used it at all.
What, Eleventy?
Yeah.
So it's lightning quick. It's really good. So you can write Markdown or templates or any of that kind of stuff, and then it just builds it. It's a static site generator, but it just like, it's so rapid, and you can just like hook it up to sort of anything, and it's really lightweight. It's very good. So like what it gives you is it gives you like collections. So if I created just like a load of so it does it out of the box. So if I had like a load of Pug and a load of Markdown and a load of HTML, it would just like build all of them and put them in a public folder for you.
Oh, nice.
But the part
and can you use that on nice apps?
Huh?
Like, can you use that on sophisticated apps at all, or is it?
Yeah. So the bit it doesn't. So there's no like React or anything, because it's just like static site. But you could do a React side to it, I guess, somehow. But like it doesn't take care of anything like asset processing or anything. So what I've done is I've created a stack where I'm using Parcel Bundler to write my ES6, and then I push that into a public folder, and then I have Eleventy running alongside it at the same time. And then I've hooked that up to Netlify CMS, so I can just go in there and like write a blog post or a bit of copy for my site, and then it'll it'll rebuild it as I'm working on it. It's quite cool.
That's
'Cause I did the
yeah,
Gatsby route
I'll have to
last
check
time,
that out.
so I
I
was
haven't like I didn't even hear of it like until I seen you posting about it and that you were rebuilding it. I was like, that's going on my list of things I have to read about now because I don't know what that is, and I'll feel like an imposter if I don't know what it is.
that's the problem. I was like, so when I did the last site, I was like, well, I've worked with Gatsby, but I have nothing public showing that I've done any Gatsby. So I was like, right, I just build my site in Gatsby. I was like, yep, cool, done that, done the storybook, done MDX, done all that kind of stuff. And then I was like, now everyone's talking about 11T. All right, now I've got to do something. Got to do something with that now.
Yeah, it's
But
like being in the corgi group, and it's like anytime I'm in there for longer than like 2 hours, I'm like, oh god, I have to learn Rust. I have to learn Rust.
Yeah, like it's hard. That's why I took like a. I mean, the last time we chatted, we don't chat enough, which is bad. But I took like a detox from Discord and just kind of everything almost, because I just like, man, every time I go in there, someone's like created something incredible, and I'm like, I need to be making more, like 24 hours a day.
And you know that's bad as well, because so many people look up to you and see you, and they're like, I can never be that good. And I think it's important, like, to show that even you feel like that, and yet most people probably watching the stream are like, I can never build what Jay builds.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like, everyone has it to a degree. It's like, man, this is just exhausting.
It is, absolutely. If you're not careful, if you can't, and I think that's becoming just accepting your failures as well, and just accepting that you won't ever know everything, and that's fine. Just find really good people around you, and they'll probably fill the void for you. You know, even like I've often just hit you on Discord and just said, I don't know how to do this thing. Or am I doing it right?
that kind of stuff. That's why I've kept my Discord open, because I like chatting to people, but like that's easier. Like, but when it's just like a mass of updates, it's really hard to keep on top of, because there's just so much fantastic stuff going on. It's just like, wow, how do I keep up with this? So I just take a break from it every once in a while, just complete getaway. But Discord's brilliant for. Like, I like it when people just reach out and just ask, like, how to do stuff, or even I ask them.
It's usually me just going, Jay.
That's good, though. I like that.
That's like, what does block mean?
The thing, like, as, like, naturally, I've just got so I've been trying to kind of make myself think that it's fine. Like, you can take your time rebuilding this site. Because obviously, me being me, I'm like, I just want to make blog posts now. I just want to make it all now and have it. But I just got to take my time with it, because naturally I'm getting sidetracked every 5 minutes with something I'm going to make for it, or something I'm going to make that's completely unrelated. Like that light bulb. That's the dark mode toggle for the site. But I've ended up just getting sidetracked making things off of that. So
that little string animation, because I didn't see you stream it, but like that is so beautiful. Just the physics on that string. When you're like playing with it, like I feel like a cat. I feel like a cat when I'm playing with it. I'm just like, what's going on?
Well, now I got like the bear paw comes in and grabs it and toggles it, and now I was like, well, that's a new impossible button, isn't it? So every time you turn it on and turn it off, and it's like, man, now there's new ideas span off of that. And then like yesterday, I did this
reverse dark mode on people just so it annoys them when they come out here. So if you're trying to get dark mode, it will never happen.
That's what I need to do. I think that's the way I'll do it. I think that makes more sense.
It'd be so funny though. You'd forgive somebody if a bear comes in. As I said, once you give it life, you forgive it. So
exactly.
Like if it was just a buggy site, you'd be like, oh, this is awful. But when somebody comes in with eyes, that's the secret.
I feel like it's okay now as well. You can say like, oh, it's Christmas, don't hurt the bear. Because I opened the window earlier. Well, I didn't open it. I stood up to look out, and the other side of the road was lit up. I was like, oh man, it's Christmas now. There's Santas everywhere.
It is. You know, I'm fortunate enough. I'm getting some sun next week. I've ordered a COVID test for Wednesday. To get a COVID test before I go to Spain with my girlfriend. She's from Spain, so And I have a COVID test ordered to be here for when I get home, and 2 weeks later as well, just to feel normal. But it's bizarre, like that's the process I had to put in place to, you know, go out and get away from the madness that we currently have as well.
Yeah, I've forgotten what outside is like.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Do you know what? I don't know what I'd do without like actual outside space. I think I'd be going crazy.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough. Like, I'm in the city centre here in Dublin, but like where I am, it's like there's trees beside me, which is like right outside my window, and how silent it is. There's like this quiet part of Dublin I've found very luckily. With like, I'm a 20-minute walk to Grafton Street, so it's outrageous how close I am to everything, but how quiet I've gotten it as well.
I had a speculative email about relocating to Dublin today.
Oh yeah, I bet you're like, yeah, of course I'll sell my house.
Yeah, I'll be there. I was like, there's a trick, right? I can't remember who it was that posted it, but there's a good trick for LinkedIn, which just put the emoji at the start of your name, and then it really filters out all the emails where people can't be bothered to remove a bear from the front of my... So you can tell which people actually took the time.
Oh, that's a smart... You need to do like an egghead video on that.
Adding that, yeah.
How to not get spam on LinkedIn.
It's so good, because honestly, I know which emails are from people that have actually taken the time to be like, hey, we'd like to speak to you, and hey, you're just an automated number on my sheet. It's been really good since I've done it.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm gonna do that actually as well. I get it all the time because I'm always telling people like I don't want to work for anyone. So it's like I get offers all the time. Actually, I get a lot of people trying to sell me offshore developers. So like every day you get 2 people add you and they're like, hey, do you want to hire developers?
Do you ever get the one where it's like, hi, we'd like to make a website for your business, and it's like, do you know what I do for
oh yeah, I've gotten phone calls about that, and I said, what's your website there so I can check it, and I'm like, yeah, that's awful, I would do a way better job than you.
Like, it's my job and you're asking me if you can come do my job for me, essentially.
Yeah, it's
and
great.
me pay you for it. Like,
yeah, you should say yes. If you can improve it, absolutely I will pay for it. Because that, imagine them going to somebody's site like yourself and
they
saying,
could improve
yeah,
that. There's nothing there.
Well, yeah, okay. After you release the new site,
yeah,
then you can challenge them.
Yeah, there's not much of a challenge at the moment. That's one of the things I've been I've been quite enjoying hooking it up to a CMS, because you can have control over just every little piece in a CMS.
What are you using on your CMS?
So I've just set up Netlify CMS as just
cool.
because you write the config to write like collections, and then how Netlify CMS works is it just when you hit publish, it just does a commit in the background to the GitHub repo through Netlify identity, and then that just ends up as a block of markdown in the repo. And next time so if I do it in dev mode at the moment, I don't know if there's a better workflow for it, but I could be like, right, I want to make a dummy blog post. So I'd write something in the CMS, hit publish, that does a commit, and then I just pull the changes on the branch, and then it'll be there. And when I reload, it'll pop up. It's quite clever.
Nice. I'm using Strappy on one of the sites. I'll show you in a second. But I'm using Strappy. It's a self-hosted CMS. It's pretty funky. You can do everything with it. Like you can add it so it's a GraphQL endpoint or a REST endpoint.
That's cool.
And I was able to give it to the guys I'm working with as well, and they're able to update the site now, and it calls a GitHub hook, and then rebuilds the site whenever they save, say, a new article or something.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's the part I need to work out how that works, because there's some good tips on the 11eve site about like making it run a job every day or like every time to deploy and stuff. And I don't know that side of it terribly well yet, but it's one of those things I don't expect to write loads of stuff, but then I can also see it being something where like, oh, I'm just going to write a snippet here and just post it and away it goes kind of thing. So that'd be quite good, because that's what I lack. I have nothing like that. My writing is just everywhere. but not in
I'm
one
the
place.
same. I don't actually have a personal site at all. I
Yeah.
had one like 4 years ago when I was applying for jobs. And then it was so out of date and so embarrassing to me when I learned more that I just was like, I'll just take this offline.
I think that's a common thing though, right? Because if you're I mean, I kind of did the same things. I had like a site, and even my old one, like it looked pretty naff. It was like scrolling and stuff. But I think when you do freelance contract stuff, you just become so busy, and as soon as you're on like one, then odds are when you finish up, another one comes along. You just never have time, and
But
the
I did
work.
that, like, that's what I'm doing right. But even with my business site that I'm doing right now, like, I just haven't had time to keep my site, good. So it's awful. I'm actually embarrassed if a client comes across my website. Hence why I was like, I might as well start doing it publicly so I can, instead of saying, yeah, we're rebuilding, I can say, look, you can actually see me rebuilding it so I'm actually able to develop things.
That's what's funny. Like I get, I don't know, I get emails to my site, but then I think, what did you actually see there? Because it's just like the scrollable blurbs. But then I often get like, hey, I saw this from CodePen, which is super useful. Like, it's really good to know that is a kind of lead for me. Because obviously there's a lot more stuff from me on there.
For sure. I'm seeing this. Why am I using Next.js instead of Express.js? Well, for sure that's because I want a static site at the end of this and a little bit of interactivity. So the hydration phase in Next.js is awesome. The fact that you get a static site for speed and then the hydration phase that just pumps it full of React again is lovely. And hello, DevOps Directive as well. He did just recently. He did a DevOps video there for Traversy Media there recently as well. It's talk about a super smart guy. In fairness, again, Jay, stay away from his stuff. It's the kind of person that you look at and you go, damn, I need to learn way more. All right, I'm gonna know you. I'm gonna know you for questions here because I do want by the end of the stream have this stuff kind of working. So you can see where I'm going with this. Mm-hmm. I am trying to. What I decided at the very end of the last stream, and I did this in like 20 minutes the last day, was trying to get this nice effect working, and it's kind of doing.
Why's the dark one bigger than the white one? Why are they not like equal height even?
To be honest, because that's what my design looks like, and it's dynamic to the content, so there will be an image up here.
Oh, okay, that balances it out.
So yeah, there will be the image. I just haven't got there because I got so excited. Like, this was always meant to be just like click, click, click. But at the end of the last day, I was like, I would like if I could swipe this, because I think when it goes down to mobile, it will feel way cooler if I can swipe as well.
You know me, I'm just gonna I'll fire out everything I see. Like, I'm very blunt in my critique.
For sure. Yeah, and that's why there's a big gap up here.
So yeah, no, that makes sense. That's why I was like, I swear you wouldn't have done it like this. Like, you're doing all these SVG lines and stuff. I don't think your CSS is like that.
No, no, it's not fantastic. Yeah, as you see, everything's actually an image. This whole box is an image. Imagine.
All the text.
I've been just taking screenshots and putting them together.
Oh, that's such a good idea. I feel like just doing a Figma and just uploading a PNG and being like, hey, my site's done, and seeing how many people fall for it.
Yes, that'd be so good. Until the one guy who tries to copy and paste it to get it. Yeah.
Hey, I can't click the buttons.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious. Or when you click the page, like the image changes. It's like a difference. It's like a movie poster or something.
No, it's just when you go to like a small breakpoint, you just do like object fit cover, and it just gets really, really small.
That'd be so funny. I really want to do that now. I probably won't. I'll do that on my personal site happily.
Yeah. Just like, here it is. Let me know what the look and feels like.
Nice. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, I'm gonna go.
I was going to ask you though, how does what do they do? Do they stack at mobile?
Yeah, let me show you. So
Because
I
I've
will
just come
play
into this
around.
blind, so I haven't really
Yeah, no,
seen your
that's okay.
design yet.
So actually, this was my original design, and Adrian actually improved it. See the way I have all different text and different sizing. So this is from Adrian's video. He went and butchered it, butchered it. He, absolutely improved a lot of things on its sizing and everything else, and moved some stuff
What did
around.
he do?
Made
Just up some of the font sizing.
font sizing, moved things around a little bit. Even like this to each side. So I know right well what I'm going to do to keep this balanced is put a max width on it so it looks like a piece of paper at a certain point rather than just expanding infinitely. And it's the only way I think I can keep manners on those SVG lines.
Scroll down. Oh, okay. I think it's just a weird bit. So you've got on the left, you've got the trusted by bit the right way around, and on the right, it's flipped around. I was like, that reads weird. On the right, it's like on the right you have the images for like Amazon and stuff, and then underneath you have trusted by.
Oh yeah. So like again, like Amazon didn't trust me. Don't worry. I definitely flunked one of their. I definitely flunked one of their interviews. So yeah, here I have a mobile design as well. So it's gonna literally. I'm just going to like break it like this. I'm probably going to lose the bullet points. I'm not a big fan and like put a heavier weight on these things.
Yeah, well, you could just depends how. Like, would you get enough info just from the dark bit? You could just scrap the white bit on mobile.
That's actually not a bad idea at all.
Because it's quite a long thing.
Yeah, unless like even if I put a button at the end, view more, and it flips around or whatever else, I could think of something.
View more, and it just expands it, and then you have to horizontally scroll, and it just becomes huge.
It says buy a bigger screen.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
View
like
more, and it just a modal that just says open on tablet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, your screen is too small, peasant. No, I don't think that would be good for business though.
Yeah, this isn't the personal one. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, no, this is like absolutely. Yeah, so I have to actually find the logos before next week. So this, what I'm trying to do here, again, we're going to get so many sidetracked here for a little while, I think. So what I'm trying to do is get this. I had the idea that I'd like it to swipe, and now I'm trying to get the directions right, but my head is going all over the place. And as you can see, I'm kind of just changing things as I'm going along as well.
How have you implemented it at the moment?
So right now, and here's where I'm starting to. I started this last week, and this week I can't remember how I did it last week. So
the trick
do you ever get like that?
The trick I do for this with Framer is I use drag X with drag constraints left and right 0, and I wrap the entire thing in a UL. So it looks like you're doing drag X, drag elastic. You're using variants, which I didn't do. Scroll down. Have you got constraints on it as well?
I removed the constraints, I think, because they weren't.
So take the on drag end off and take the variants off. Oh no, are they constraints? No, they're styles. So the way I do this, I say how I do this from a conceptual at the top kind of level.
Yeah.
What I would do is I have, and this is how I implement it when I do it, is a UL with each page or whatever it is as an LI. It doesn't matter on the size. It could be 100 VDub. It can be whatever you want. And then start as just a swiping thing, and it won't do anything until it exceeds a threshold. So I see you have like the confidence threshold thing there, and you're doing paginate 1 or -1. So what I do here,
this is what I'm doing. It has an offset and a velocity. So
and it just calculates it on the threshold. So that's from like one of the Framer demos, right? That's one from the one that does.
I have it open here.
So this one is good, but it's also frustrating because if you have something where you want to see the next thing coming in, so it depends how your design works. Because I wanted one where I want to almost see the next thing coming as I scroll it. So it depends what you want to do.
Ah, yes. No, I get you. And I kind of gave but also what I noticed on this one as well when I started matching from it is they had the same problem as me. Is the directions? See, I feel they go the same, or did they? Yeah. No, they've changed the right directions. Why is mine doing that then?
You might be missing something. But the way I do it is I do I react to it in an effect. So all I care about is setting the index of the current thing, and then I just do an animate to the right
So
panel.
you're using a use effect, is it?
Yeah, based on the transition. So that so I would say oh, if the panel is updated, now I animate to the next one. But it depends how you're doing it. So it depends what effect you want, really. If you want,
I'm okay with the effect I have because all I'm doing is removing so as you can see here, all that
you're
happens with
just stuck on
the
your direction then. So
yeah,
what happens?
I just wanted the direction yeah, as you see here, I have the enter direction. At the center is just the opacity is there, and I remove it when it goes out.
So if direction is less than 0, 1,000 exit left. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, so it is actually going far off the screen. That is the effect you're doing.
Yeah.
And then it's either going. Oh, hold up. That'll be. Isn't that the part that's? If it's -1, it would actually go minus 1,000, though.
Minus. Oh, so these could be the wrong way around, are they?
Potentially. Try that. What? Is that right? No.
Okay, so this way is correct. But if I go left, it should go. So yeah, it's the left swipe.
And that's when the confidence. That's when the swipe threshold is negative, right?
Yeah. So now, here again, because I would expect this to go down, rather than up here as well. So this is what I need to play around with. See the way this is. It's nearly going the opposite. This is doing the opposite to what I expected because this way I'd wanted to go up. Oh,
this is how I come into stream and just break your app in
hold on, let me refresh this. I think I broke it. Okay, so yeah, it's doing the opposite. So I do.
So switch them back then. So that was right. So somewhere in here, there's
no, it's still wrong. That's not it.
Has it refreshed?
Yeah, should have.
So that's the exit.
So this is.
Sometimes what I do is I just. And I've been banging my head with some Framer stuff this week, but it's.
Okay, so yeah, that, and then this. Yeah, okay. So I think what I'm happening now is I'm not getting the direction. I must not be getting the direction here.
Well, if you just plug a thing into, because it'll be on drag end, right? So if you just the logic in there mustn't be quite right.
Yeah, where am I? Because I built this outside of this last week, and it's just a blue block that was going left and right, and then threw it over what I have. So if what?
Where's my code for this? Just
thanks, Tej. Tej was on with me last night doing an AWS workshop. We spent about 2.5 hours messing around with some AWS stuff. So,
and it went good.
Yeah, not so bad. They changed DynamoDB yesterday, so that kind of threw us so badly. So we couldn't figure out how to get a permission to use DynamoDB from the console. It just wouldn't let us. So that knocked about 30 minutes off.
Yeah, so I'm doing mine a bit different. So what I do is I just set an index of the child that's going to be showing next. So I do something like if swipe is less than negative swipe confidence threshold. So where's your on drag end?
So like I'm using this index obviously to wrap as well. All right,
Yeah,
so this is just so you can see where I'm.
Where's your on drag end?
My on
again?
drag end is. Good question. It's a very personal question, Jay. You're not allowed to ask a lady that.
Let me see it. Yeah, so you've got that round the right way, but I do. Yeah, that is. So the only difference I put in there is because what does that paginate function do? Just negate or plus to something.
Paginate is up here, so set panel
Right.
plus new direction and new direction. So
you only have a finite number of panels, right? So
4.
this is I think this is where it's probably making it confusing. So for instance, say if you have 4 panels, so your starting index is 0, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you go +1, it's 1, and then it's 2, and then it's 3. What happens when it gets to 3? Well, because you want it to be infinite, it's actually the math.max of. So you need to like do math.max 0, and it'd be math.min even math.min of the child, like the index max and the index +1, if that makes sense. So like the maximum it can be is 4.
Yeah.
Or +1, and then the other one would be the minimum it can be is like 0, and that's if you don't want to keep going around. But because you want to keep going around, if it's higher than the length, you make it 0, and if it's less than, you make it the max.
So I have that here with this wrap function from Popcorn.
Okay.
So I took this in, and this wraps it around. So if I get to the, as you said, the data.length, so it gets the index 3, so it jumps back around. Yeah.
All right, cool.
So every time, like I'm calculating, I could have wrote it if I wasn't lazy, and I tend to not actually bring in these things, but
I'm like
I brought it here.
This has always been like, so I've been doing this client work. It's almost been like, oh, this is nice. I'm just using a package that does it for me. I'd have just written the whole thing myself.
Absolutely. I just seen that Popcorn is. Have you actually come across it yet?
What, Popcorn.js?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been around quite a while, right? It's been around.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was like, it's all helper methods for animations. So for people like me who are really terrible at, visualizing how the maths works on these things, I think that they're awesome for that.
I think I just like torturing myself with the arithmetic.
Unclean. Flail.
I just love hours of getting angry and, skipping dinner and just getting annoyed.
Yeah. And then I won't be to bed tonight.
That's just how it goes. But yeah, what I do instead, so to back onto what I get to a point, and then once I've gone past the threshold, I just set an index, and I don't have an exit on mine. I just have a transition, and I use style. And then I use the animate function to animate to the next position. That's how I do it. So I do it in an effect, because what I was doing was I was dragging, but it wouldn't go to the next one. It just wouldn't do it for me, because the exit, I didn't want to exit. I wanted to keep everything in the UI at all times.
Okay, so what I like, as I said, like this is where this direction comes in. That's what I'm trying to apply here. That's why the variants are pretty cool, is you can add a function to the exits and a function to the enter. And I thought, and I might console log this out in a second so we can see it. So I thought I was going to either get -1 or 1 based on positive, negative. And that would direct whether it's coming in from the right or left,
Mm-hmm. How's that direction getting passed in there?
So when I paginate, I get the new direction, and I pass it in here, and then the direction is here.
What does variance listen to? So you see that variance is a.
Yeah, it listens to this key change. It listens to the key change on the elements. So we have the key of panel. So anytime the panel changes, it listens for
So that would
change.
cause a re-render, right? So
yeah. So that's let me console log it out. So I love like
variance is one thing.
There's a lot of excitement on the chat there as well. People are just having their own conversations without us as well. Just like two separate things are going on here.
This is just like when you're like at school and they just did social club. We're just trying to bring that vibe. Like people just chilling. Like some people are probably on the pool table. And,
yeah, that's it. Pretty much. I get a lot of people here, especially Fridays recently where we're on lockdown, where a lot of people are just having a beer, watching this, going, well, there's somebody else having a beer at least. Yeah, you're on the Monster. I don't know which is healthier, to be honest.
This has no sugar in this one.
Yeah, what else is in it?
This is my Friday treat, 0 sugar.
Ooh. Do you know, I thought you were a Monster mad. I thought you were drinking that most days. Do you drink coffee?
I have so this is what I have. I have 3 eggs, oats, a scoop of whey, ice, 300 mils of water, and a teaspoon of coffee. That's like my morning drink.
Wow. I believe you hate yourself now. I do believe it.
It tastes really good. Like the oat powder and the caramel and a little bit of coffee in there.
Vodka Red Bull equals prime health is what I'm getting in the chat there. So myself and Tej, I think about this time last year, we went on a pretty bad bender basically, and the next morning we decided that was a healthy drink to have and ended up in Belfast. So
so the thing I don't know, maybe I need to look at the Framer docs, because variance is one thing that I haven't really played with, but
yeah,
what I was getting at is how is the argument getting passed in? So I know it's reading direction, but it's reading that off state.
So actually, do you know what, that might even be better. If I console log this as I'm doing it, I might know what is being shown.
Yeah, because I got a feeling like, how does it know what direction is?
What I thought was happening was when I paginate, I pass a direction through, and based on that, I plus or minus the button.
But that's like a set state, right? Panel.
Yeah.
So you're setting state, which is a direction, but direction to the variant would actually be an array of numbers. So it'll always cancel out on the first ternary, the second ternary, because it has no notion of direction in that argument. If you took the argument out of the parameter,
where here,
it would then know above it. So where you have like the declaration where you're writing direction, it has no notion of what direction is at that point. But if you took direction off, it would read the scope above. But obviously it's not in an effect, so it wouldn't update.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I mean, let me just show you what's happening. No, I think, like I said, I think this is because you do this a different way to me. I learned how to do it with variance. Obviously not well, or else we wouldn't be here. I'm here like defending as if I know what I'm doing. I'm like, hold on, Jay, I got you to help me here, so let me tell you why you're wrong.
Hey, I'm learning here too. Let me have a look at these dots.
So
that's the only part that looks a bit kind of like ropey to me. I don't understand how that argument exists, how it maps to what you want, because you're not actually telling it anything.
Yeah, so basically on the presence and everything else. So basically when you're animating presence, because what I'm doing is I'm mounting and unmounting a div.
Yeah.
So when that presence is entering or exiting, I get different transitions. What it's reading then is the direction from here, which is my state. So if it's minus or plus, minus, plus,
but so enter is an object, and that argument direction is something that has to be passed to that function, right? So how is it passed to that function? Is it through that custom property, on animate presence, or how does the variant know what that value is? How is it mapped? And that's the point I was getting at. It'll always be undefined in one instance. It doesn't actually...
Look at this. This is what we get. We get undefined and the number. So is that undefined that's throwing it?
Yeah, because the state is like, what? I don't understand what you're doing. So it's actually behind itself, because every time it re-renders, that scope would probably be getting updated somehow, and it doesn't actually know what's going on. That would be how I would see it if I was looking at it, because I'd be like, hold on, where's this argument coming from?
So it's the two renders.
The name of direction in these functions, instead, like inside your variants, if you change if you just command D to all direction instances and just changed it to like D or something, and then you'll see what actually comes through.
Okay, so, oh no, don't do that.
News is good.
Nudie.
Yeah. Send nudes.
Yeah.
So yeah, the same thing. So that value coming through from somewhere, but obviously it's rendering twice for some reason.
It's also going in the wrong direction, isn't it? Because that should be +1. This should be -1. I would say left should be -1, right should be +1 in my head. Oh,
well, yeah.
I don't know why. That's definitely not supposed to happen.
Logic,
it happens to all the boys, I bet.
I think it would be -1 and +1. I think swap them around and see what happens.
Yeah, so yeah, which one is which? So entering.
Why can I not find the docs for variants? Is it motion? Oh, is it animate?
Maybe I made them up. Who knows?
No, I saw them the other day and I was like, do I need to give them a go yet? Nah.
And here you are. If
Here
only
I
you knew I was going to test you this week.
I don't get the job.
All right, that's still there. That's still there. Okay, so that's wrong. It's up in the paginate function then, or something it has to be, doesn't it? Or the direction. Where is my direction being set?
Okay.
Oh, I changed it all to be D. This is impossible.
As a target of values to animate, or the name of any variance defined via the variance prop, variance will flow down. Yeah, just show me where variance is. That's what I want to see. Animation. Aha, there we go. Target objects.
Oh, okay, hold on. I think if I do this, I do this.
Oh, so it's just the state. Right.
Okay, I've gotten this going the right direction for half of it now, right? Look, so it's going -1, -1, -1. So what I was doing here was my paginates, because I have the paginate function, that was going 1, -1. So now I have...
So, yeah, so now I understand it. So variance is basically just a way to almost refactor what you were writing inside initial and like animate into something cleaner so you can share it around. So like
look at this now. We don't have the undefined anymore, just from me messing around by changing those things the right way around. I think there's a lot less overlap. But I still get
the right
this.
way when you go?
No, like it's going down as I expected, because you'd expect right, left. And then, yeah, so that's going well. Now it's just getting it to leave in the right direction, I guess. So that's the exit.
Yeah. What did you change in the paginate to stop it firing twice? You just took something out?
I swapped these around. Look, literally just Control Z. This is all that was there before.
I wonder why that made it stop firing twice. I guess it was... I don't know.
It shouldn't have.
Because you don't have an effect that runs. It's
No.
triggering
It's still
state.
just running the same one function.
That's weird. You haven't got to open another tab somewhere, have you?
No. Do I? No, I'm looking at all my tabs. No, I don't. It's all good here.
The dreaded double browser stack bug. Oh, a browser sync bug.
So left, right. So I don't know why I keep getting this bug as well every so often.
Yeah, it's so annoying. I've had that a couple of times. What I've been doing for the thing I'm working on at the moment is I've just been doing. Oh, there you go. It's been pointed out. You just removed the console log, so it probably is still doing it, but it's just not showing it. Good stuff.
That's so embarrassing. I'm like, yeah, I fixed it.
Well, I've been doing so it tends to be the way I go about approaching any client stuff if I can is to basically build the entire thing inside Storybook, and then I just integrate it afterwards. So that way I can just build pretty much all of it. And then it's like, hey, you can have it in your hands and see what it feels like before it gets actually hooked up to stuff. And
yeah.
I keep getting caught with stuff because I'll be like, halfway through an animation, and then I'll make a change, and then Storybook's like, whoop, and you're just like, can you go back to where you're meant to be? And you have to end up doing like the viewport resizing and stuff.
Yeah, we have our undefined back. Thank you, Surandar.
Thank you for getting the undefined back.
Yeah.
We missed it.
I was positive for a minute there. It was because I Control Z'd back to direction because I knew I had a lot of other things labeled that I couldn't see then. So
now I understand how variants work. So you have enter and show me your dragging thing again. So you have center, enter, and exit. So what are they actually hooked up to? Scroll up a tiny bit. No. Down. I just want to see the other props on that component. I couldn't see it.
On which one? This? Oh yeah, here.
Yeah, the big one. Oh right. So you have.
So the panel is the key. Basically, that's what it's listening to.
Right, and it animates to center, and it exits with exit, and it. Yeah. So now I know what variance is. Variance is basically just a shorthand for, or a nicer way of doing this, so you don't write it all in line, which is what I've been doing.
Yeah.
But from what it looks like, you can actually write this as a function as well, which is pretty cool. So.
What can I write as a function?
So your variants actually like the keys return functions. So they're dynamic variants, which is each variant can be defined as a function that resolves when a variant is accessed.
Because like I have these here, they're the keys.
And you're setting it from the custom prop in the animate presence, which is what I was trying to understand because I hadn't looked at this and I was just assuming that somehow magically things inside could see it. But now I understand it, so I've learned something today. Thank you.
I just still get undefined, so that doesn't help me.
Yeah, but I think what's happening there is so when at some point, because obviously animate presence looks at direction, and at some point direction is getting wiped out for some reason. Now it could be so when you do a return, so that's just your X and your opacities, your Zen index, your opacities. What if you go up? Because none of this is there's like zero logic to this as well.
Yeah, that's why I can't understand. Like I'm not changing all that much. Like the new direction comes in, it's undefined here. So what's setting it undefined?
Do you know what I would do? I would
debug.
You know, you're logging at that point where paginate is, right?
Yep.
And it's coming up as undefined there.
Recommendation is spelled incorrectly. Where? Oh, it is, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I definitely need to run Grammarly over this. This was just because, I don't spell correctly when I'm using Figma. I need Grammarly or I'm screwed.
Is the new direction coming through correct?
It's not all the time because... Oh, or is it? Hold on.
check that
New
console
direction.
again.
Yeah, new
New
directions
direction always
always.
comes through, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
I think it's actually an issue with potentially your state piece.
Right. Direction.
Because direction never comes through, but new direction does. So whatever
Okay, so
happens inside set panel is what's breaking it. What is panel?
here, this never gets a direction.
Yeah, this never comes through because direction never gets defined for some reason.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense then. Okay, so okay, so if hold
inside
on,
that set panel,
if I get rid of if I check, hold on, I'm gonna get another direction here. Console.log direction, just to see if my direction is actually updating here, and I remove it from here. So I want to see what's coming through when the state changes then. Direction. Hold on. So if I do this. Nope. Oh, I thought I had it solved there.
yeah, that was the original. That was the what I originally thought you needed to do because I was like, oh, hold up. But now I see that it does the custom piece. But that's why the way I've implemented these is I just don't use the variant. I just do a strict index change and then just animate to the next one. But
I should be able to get the direction. So
yeah, you
I
should.
think I might need. Where is the docs?
The only part that's in fact, do you need the?
I'm not getting this.
The thing is, with the direction, it's only gonna change when the direction changes, right? And if the direction is constantly -1.
So
I don't know. I think the state variable is just a bit weird. I think it, like doing a nested array is probably what's causing the issue.
I don't like because I feel like if I updated two pieces of state, I'll need to go into like a use reducer, because then I'll be just triggering state change,
How am I?
and because you know way like use state under the hood uses
I'm doing. I'm doing something. Yeah, I'm doing something interesting. So for this one, I need like a full panel slider thing that does like. Yeah, I need like a full viewport slider thing for this thing I'm making. So I'm doing like a use motion value, and then I'm timesing it by the container ref's width, so it works on all things, and updating an index. So it's not really applicable to this, but yeah, I would. The thing is,
what I'm gonna do as well. I want to make sure that both of these are being called as I expected as well.
do you know what you? I was gonna say you could just make it a ref. So you could just make your direction a ref that you
Look
update.
at yeah. So we're getting enter exit. Yeah, I know use state uses use reducer under the hood, but that's why I don't want to call use reducer twice. So what are you saying? Use ref for which direction?
Because your reference is just to say which direction you're going in, right?
Yeah.
But you're just updating the panel index. That's what you're really doing every time.
So you reckon if I
Like you could just there's so many ways you could do this. I just don't like doing nested arrays because I just think it becomes really hard to.
I also don't like it, and it was literally because I seen it in an example and it made sense to me, and I didn't want to have to import use reducer and start doing loads of changes and things.
I just feel like it makes things really complicated. But
okay, so let's split it out then. Const direction.
So direction
use ref,
and just do 0 or something. I don't know, and just see what happens.
And then I need to just change everything
So just change to panel 0, I guess, and then I hope you committed those changes. No, I'm joking. It'll be fine.
I'm here, like, I hope you see it. If anyone paused that for a second, my face like, uh-oh.
And then, yeah, so
where I calling the use state now, or set panel, where am I calling that? Because that's, so I'm setting panel as here, so I need to set both of them separately, do I?
You could just do a set panel as panel minus. Hey, wait, is that? Why is every button a -1?
Oh yeah, the buttons I have -1 on because I just hadn't figured out. Like, I was going to do some calculations for them.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know, because I'll obviously do if they're positive or negative. But for now, because I was trying to figure this out, I just ignored that problem.
See, this is why I did this is why I've done it how I've done it. I have like a dots thing, and you just click it, and it just uses motion value to go to whichever one you need. Because it's
set panel I. Yeah, so that's the way it should be then, isn't it? Just set panel I.
Yeah.
Where is? Yeah, that's okay. That's all the buttons done. But do I need to change the direction now?
Well, I'm trying to think what would be,
because it's on that update. I want to. That's why I was doing it all at once.
Almost.
I can't.
Almost what you want to do here is just keep a reference of the previous panel at all times. That's pretty much what you want to do.
So then, basically, I could say I'm
Because
passing
that
the
will
panel.
also make your life a lot easier. Instead of doing calculations, you can just say new panel minus the old panel. Tell me if it's plus or minus.
So, like, I could get the last one by, passing it in like this, can't I? So that's the last I. And I could say I is...
But I was just thinking from an effect, because then you could just pass this in somewhere, and then you'll be able to grab it every time, which will be really handy.
I get you. Yeah. So okay, but we're lost in semantics here, because this one doesn't matter so much, because this is the buttons that we're not trying to fix right now. We can easily say this is plus or minus based on left or right of the button, up or down. But this should not do that. Okay, so now we are in, where are we going? Paginate, +-1. So +-1 to paginate. Now I have the panel. So that is now just going to be the panel.
Panel plus, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I get you now. So panel plus new direction.
It's funny, like I would normally do this kind of stuff. Like when you work on this, you just crank it out, or like when you're on your own stream, you do it. But when you're like shoulder surfing, it's like backseat driving. It's
So set panel new direction. And honestly, it's because I'm trying to take your crazy ideas here and put them through. So let's see.
So what's happening now?
We have no, if we do this, does this, the direction is current 0. Oh yeah, because we're using ref now.
Mm-hmm.
So
we're always getting 1,000 or -1,000 now, depending on what's happening to it. Is that right? So like because direction always equals something, the ternary is always going to be whatever it is on those variants, right? So
yeah,
so it's going to be 1,000 and whatever the exit one is.
Yeah, but like we're not grabbing that direction at all for some reason, because if I look at this and just put in
Yeah, it's just because it's the current. So you'd have to write like direction.current.
But yeah, where's the direction coming from here? Enter.
The animate presence on the custom prop.
Okay, yeah. So direction dot current.
But sometimes you're better off just passing the ref and then letting the last thing take it apart.
What do you mean by passing the ref?
So you just pass direction and then in the actual function refer to direction.current.
Oh, yes, I get you.
Sometimes
I don't use ref too much. That's my problem.
Yeah, sometimes it's a bit, it plays up when you pass the actual ref.
Okay, so I'm saying Surrender has said that in the official
really
example
good.
variants are outside.
That's a good point. That's one thing. I don't know if you find this.
That might be smart.
The Framer docs are quite strange in that sense that like they'll show you a code snippet, but it's like very disconnected from an actual working thing. If you know what I mean. Like, so they'll show you like, so the variance example is just const variance and then return items map, but there's like no context to it. So it's kind of like, what's happening here?
No, dead right. I think you might be right here because I might be calling the same.
Well, the function will be updating every render.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't. I'm clutching at straws when I'm just like, yeah, I'll try anyone's ideas.
Just do it all in CSS.
Oh, that's what, yeah. Do you want to take over? I'll just give you my editor. I'll go have dinner, and you can just take over. Okay, so where are we at? We have that. So you're saying I've gotten rid of direction, and then where does the custom come in?
Custom
goes
is
to
from direction, and then direction should be coming through there now, and then you would just use direction.current in the ternary.
Okay, so direction dot. But I'm not even getting that because I'm not even like if I console log out the direction here.
It's sometimes undefined, right?
It's always undefined.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do direction.
Oh no, it's not. It's the second time again.
Yeah.
Damn you.
And that is because that's because it's firing enter and exit, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, so that down here, no.
It's
Why is
firing
enter being called twice then?
Why would it fire two entries?
Exactly.
One entrance.
Interesting. Do we know anyone who built Framer that could jump on? Set panel I display panel index white paginate.
Oh, what's that?
One.
What's display panel?
Display panel takes my index, which is the wraparound thing, and that's just getting my content. So if I set panel, display panel, yeah, I just get the key, and based on the key, I'm getting some data which comes in. Like I'm just literally updating the text because the opacity comes in and out. When it comes back in, I'm updating the text based on just the data in here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird, but it's just I didn't want to have to, like, I just copied and pasted the same things over and over just to feel like I had those 4 panels. I hope that's not throwing it. It shouldn't. In fact, if I comment it out just for... Oh yeah, well that won't work.
H1. That's what I always do.
Yeah, so like no matter like if it's a constant number, it's still doing the same thing.
Where can I get a code sandbox for this?
So here, in fact, where's the left and right buttons here? What do the left and right buttons do in here?
See, in this one, they're just swapping an image. Because this is the one I based my example off. But the one thing that I found kind of interesting about this is obviously they're only displaying one image at a time. Whereas if you actually had a list of stuff, you would want everything there in the DOM, not only rendered when it's active.
Makes sense. Because I have another about 10 minutes to play with this before I think my Thai will arrive to the house. So,
what's on the menu?
pad Thai and green curry. That is the plan tonight. So,
Fantastic.
I discovered recently like a really authentic Thai restaurant that's like 10 minutes away. And believe it or not, I had to order at 12 o'clock today to get an order for 8:30. That's how good this restaurant is.
Sounds dangerous.
Right, so start. I would absolutely love if I got this because this is just killing me. It's just left or right. Why won't you go left or right?
Well, I've got that. I've become this frustrated with it that I have actually started building out an example now. Because I want to see it work. It's annoying me. See what you've done to me now?
Yeah, you were having a nice peaceful evening. I was like, Jay, call into this nice peaceful, the lo-fi tunes got you in. And you were like, oh, this will be
I
chilled.
recognize that playlist.
Believe it or not, I did a 4-hour or 5-hour stream there recently on Front End Mentor, and I had what I thought was a royalty-free playlist, and it got taken down. So it was soul destroying. It was one of the first times I done one of these long streams, so that hurt.
That's the word.
It was like 2 songs that really just ruined the whole thing because I wasn't going to go chop it up and everything. Display panel, paginate 1, -1. Just entering. Okay, Praveen says first enter on swiping first panel, then second enter second panel coming in. Let me count that. Exit, enter.
Just be
Exit, enter. Yeah, there you go. Exit. Now, Praveen's right there. So if we listen to the events here, that's exit. That's.
But you only have. What's happened to my restream? Okay, you've frozen up on my side.
Wow, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I was gonna say, don't you only have the you only have the log inside enter though, right? So why would enter run twice?
Oh yeah, you're right. So yeah, I thought I had both. So okay, so enter's always undefined. See? Okay, so now I'm not updating the direction here anymore. So now I need to update the direction really when I'm going.
Oh, I never use Code Sandbox. So weird. Right, drag X.
Direction dot current equals 1.
Okay, cool. Drag constraints.
Interesting. Look at this now. So I'm after really screwing the world, I think, here by what I did. It's just randomly changing direction. Look. Oh, it's frozen again. So I think because like it's going out of sync now because I'm using the use ref. Interesting.
Yeah, this is why I used the motion value yesterday, because I got to this point where if you apply just constraints to like a UL and you want it to update the children inside or like a container or something, then it gets all weird about it. But
okay, so then if that's what hold on. I get you. I go back. Straight to hell. If I go all the way back to where I had this nested array, I think you might be onto something here. Okay, so everything's still working now, or as broken as it was before? Yes. Perfect. So then, if it's the constraints that might be passing that information in through. No. Left, right, right. So when I use ref, it's throwing itself out of sync because it's updating and it just, it's a race condition.
yeah,
So
that's where I'd probably reach for like an effect to update it, but
right. I think I will.
It's a weird one though, because obviously you have elements where you're repainting the element based on whether it comes in or goes, whereas I would probably go a different route and have it be always in the DOM. But I've opened up a little sandbox. Maybe I'll try and throw something together. And
interesting. I think maybe I probably won't get it done today now at this stage, but it's mostly done. Other than that, right, which is funky as hell. It's just weird that one direction isn't working, And it's capturing that one direction.
Love a bit of One Direction.
Yeah, it's the only reason anyone would know how to pronounce my name is because of that band, isn't it?
Funny because I wasn't gonna touch this framer idea until I came to writing about it, but now I'm just kind of like, nah, I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, it's a really cool framework. In fairness, I think the docs could be a good bit better though.
Yeah, I just think they're a little confusing sometimes.
Well, they're not very helpful. They just basically say, here's what you can do, here's the example.
Yeah, like the code is very disconnected from like a contextual thing. I think that's because in some places the samples for things you want are behind a paywall, so potentially. But like you see, like in that example, or like it just like there'll be two snippets side by side, and you're like, okay, and then it just like there's a disconnect. So if you looked at like the top level examples are okay, but when you look at something like, I don't know, inside gestures or something, and it'll be like drag control is a good example. Like it'll just say use drag control, and then it just shows you like, yeah, you just use drag control, but there's no like thing that says like, oh, you import use drag control and you create controls from the hook, and then you apply. Like it kind of misses a few steps, and you're kind of like, oh, what do I do then?
Yeah. So yeah, I see that there. Yeah. Weird. Motion div, drag controls. Fun problem, in fairness. I just love how like it's just a final hurdle here for just this, where it's left. Hold on. Right, left, left. Right, right, right. Okay, so now maybe if I flip around these. Look at this.
Fully working? That looks pretty good. There you go. And what was the change?
When I went back, I think it might be this. Like, let's try this now. If I remove the drag constraints, this should be in a docs, right? If I remove this, I think it will stop working again. Yeah, you see there's a jitter if I don't have those drag constraints. I think they're doing something.
Well, so this is how I learn it. If you just like do drag X with drag constraints and nothing else, you just get the elastic ping back and nothing ever happens. And then you start from that blank canvas and work your way up. That's how I learned to do these things. It feels like a build each time, but yeah, the constraints, I don't know, seem pretty important.
Yeah, I think at the end of the last stream, I was just like, I don't think I need these things, and I took them out. And then when I started this week, I was like, oh,
they seem
I'm
to be
totally lost.
They seem to be pretty like important, but as you say, the docs kind of maybe don't impress how important they are. They're just kind of like, yeah, cool, you can use these.
Right. Yeah, so right, left. That's pretty nice now. So, am I getting any more? No, I have console logs out. I can commit this then. Call it a night at this one before I break something else. I'm going to get it while it's in a working state before you give me some more crazy ideas.
Quickly commit. I had ones today really annoying. Like, I think one of my commit messages was zzzzz ... TypeScript, Like, I kept making changes, and then every time I make a change, I'd like accidentally miss a type off, and then I'd be like, oh. And then it would have to go through, it would fail on like CI. I'd just be like, oh, great. I've got to wait for that build to happen all over again.
Yeah, it's so annoying. So now I have that online at least. Great. Yeah, I was saying like the one I did with Strappy was Spark HQ. I showed you this site when I was working on it. I finally got this thing working.
Oh, that's neat.
So what I seen that Tailwind did that I want to steal is when they hover their one, it slows down. It's really neat.
Yeah, you could just do that with like a state thing, right?
Absolutely. So I think I'll do something like that. But again, all the like backend, like all the blogs and things here are all from Strappy that I've hosted on Heroku. So it's pretty cool.
I wonder if there's some kind of trick you could do in there to not have to do a state change, just like use a ref or something, or a little CSS hover to slow it down.
Play around it. I might get you on again sometime soon to help me out and see if we can figure out fancier ways of doing it, because the docs don't seem to help.
I'm trying to get this variant thing to work. That's what I want to do. I have it set up now, which is good. They're just not firing, which is interesting. I just want to see like a very basic example, you know?
Yeah.
Just some working, like, so infinite scroll just seems like the obvious thing that people want, but
yeah,
it's not one of the first demos that's like available, which I found really interesting when I went and first looked at these. I was like, oh, okay, infinite scroll, that'll be like number one. And it just wasn't. It's this one, which is unmount infinite scroll, which isn't really infinite scroll, but is kind of.
Yeah, because I might actually annoy you again, because I'll probably need to do your style, because if this is unmounting, then for SEO this won't be great at all.
No. So it's okay to do like, so the way I would have thought they would have shown an example is like, say you have 4 slides.
Yeah.
And then like you get to the 4th slide, like all it would do is have like a padded version at each end. Because that's like how the old sort of like JavaScript libraries do, like, oh, right, we'll take the last panel, put that at the front. And the first
that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing over there. I have basically timed it so, like, it's a copy of the whole thing starts again as it gets to the end, so it looks like it's infinite scrolling, but it's
they all
really
SVPs?
not. Yeah.
Are you just using like a use tag and just duplicating it?
No, I'm definitely could be doing this in a better way, because this is where my biggest performance hit is at the moment.
There's
like if I run some. Yeah, well, I may actually annoy you again. How about we set this up maybe sometime next week? We can go through some optimizations on this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right, I'm going to end this broadcast here before we go off on too many tangents. And yeah, so just in case, at least Surrender said he can go to bed happily now because he's figured out that we got it working.
To the best of our knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Cheers, everyone.